Now we're ready to complete our lesson on section 8.3, which is a study of simple interest. We've learned a few formulas to this point, and they are I equals PRT when we're wanting interest, owed or made, and P is principal, R is rate, so that means it's a percent change to a decimal, and T is time in reference to years. So this gave us one thing. Well, what if we wanted the whole amount? Well, that meant the A. And that meant that we have A means the future value, total amount of the loan. Okay, and we're just about done on studying. Again, we know the parts. This is a P for principal, parenthesis, 1 plus R, meaning the rate, and T, meaning time. Okay, then we learned to use these formulas. We also learned yield, not yield, just those items. So here we have a problem. And I probably need, and remember, we do them on the home screen. Let me turn on my calculator, make sure it fits on the screen. Stick it over here. Okay. All simple interest are executed on the home screen. Okay. That's another thing we have to know. All right, I'll put back my calculator. I'll let me always in front, and we're set. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this next problem. We have a principal was 2,300. A equals, that means the future value equals 2726, and T is 9 months. So here we have our P, our A, future value. We have T as 9 months. So we're going to change that to parts of a year, 9 over 12. 12 months equal a year, we're doing 9 parts of that. And we're going to use our formula. So what we can do is reduce this to 3/4, and then we know that we can have 0.75 of a year. We're supposed to use the decimal value on this problem. So we know our formula is A equals P parenthesis 1 plus RT. We're going to put in what we know, 20, what was that, 2726. I just noticed I didn't finish that. I apologize. 2726. We borrowed the $2,300 at 1 plus, and we don't know the rate, but we do know the parts of the year. All right, so now we're going to do the math. Okay, now one of the things that we do is rewrite the value in front of the R, the unknown value. It cleans it up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is undo multiplication by division. And so we're going to take the big numbers. Divide this whole thing by the 2,300 and this by the 2,300. When we do that, we end up with a 2726 over that 2,300, equivalent to 1 plus decimal 75R. So we're going to subtract the 1 from both sides, so that gives me the 2726 divided by the 2,300 minus 1 equal to 7,500 R. All right, so now we're going to use our calculator to find this condition here. So let's use our calculator. 2726 divided by the 2,300 minus the 1. Remember, the calculator can do order of operations, so we get this incredible value. So we're going to put it in. And we're going to do quite a number of place values. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Okay. So now that we have that I'm supposed to print so that everybody understands what I'm doing. Remember, have a decimal value. So now I'm going to divide both sides by the 7,500ths. So I'm going to hit the divide and put the 0.75, and I end up with quite a big amount. Here we go on that. And we'll do 3 decimal places. So, no, not there yet. So now we're going to change to percent. Our second step is to change to a percent. That means I'm going to take the decimal 247, move the decimal to the right, and add the symbol. Now, on the computer, they might ask for the whole percent. So be careful on that. I don't recall that particular homework problem. So we have an application here, and we have it as, we know applications to mean language used to describe. A transaction. All right. So here we have In order to start a small business, a student takes out a simple interest. Okay, there we are. Loan for $8,000. So my base amount of principal is $8,000. Okay. For 6 months, my time is 6 months. At a rate of 7 and 25/100%. That's a tight one, I'm sorry. Okay, so how much interest must the student pay? Well, that means I equals PRT. Now we notice that 6 months must be changed to parts of a year. So that's 6/12 or 25, one or the other. Okay, so we want the interest on 8,000 borrowed, the rate, and make it into a decimal. So that would make it as a decimal. Places to the right and cross that out. And to the left, sorry about that. To the left. I apologize. I just did the other thing and got confused. Times the half year, the time, half year. Right, so here we go. Into our calculator, enter the 8,000 times the decimal 0.0725 times 5 and enter. And I get 575. Okay. Let me see if I did all that. 0.025. Yep. Seems a little high, doesn't it? Let me see. All right. Okay. So we have the amount of 575. Right. The future value of the loan. The future value of the loan. Oh, I made a mistake. There it is. I couldn't see it, and I'm sorry. That just looked too high. Got it. I got it. So it's 8,000 times 725 times 0.5. I had a -5 for some reason. I don't know. 290. Much better number. So we know that for 6 months, the interest on the loan of 8,000 is $290. Great. Okay, so now we want future value. A equals future value. All right. So we want to know that our A is equal to I plus the original amount of the note. Common sense, right? So in the 6 months, they're going to have to pay $8,290. Now here is our last one. And this one is to acquaint you with some of the financial institutions that offer an extremely high rate of interest. Please understand you must take care of your financial life, and choices are important. things like payday loans and pawn shops should be the last resort in an emergency situation. And as we get into the rest of our finance, you'll understand the importance of saving. Okay. To borrow money, you pawn your guitar. Based on the value of the guitar, the pawnbroker loans you $1,080 for the guitar. 1 month later, get the guitar back by paying the pawnbroker your value $1,270. What is the rate? All right. So we understand A equals P parenthesis 1 plus RT. All right. So let's look at this and figure out what we want in this, how much it would cost him. Now understand that we already know that the interest paid for 1 month is going to be $190 for that guitar to be loaned out for that 1 month. So we already know the I, but we're going to use this formula and we'll use the other one as well. So we know the future value was $1,270. The principal was $1,080, and we're talking 1 plus. We don't know the rate, but we do know how long, which was 1 out of 12. So we're going to rewrite that so we can write or understand what we're doing. 1 times R is R, and this will make it easy. So again, we're going to undo multiplication by division. All right, so we're going to subtract 1. All right, so we're going to do that part in our calculator and keep it there. And we have this, 17, 5, blah, blah, in a decimal. To undo division, multiply. Usually I say reciprocal, but by here we're going to say multiply by divisor. Right. So that means that we're going to multiply everything by 12. All right, so we're going to hit on our calculator times 12, and we get this. All right, so this means that I'm going to do 2 decimal places, because this is the decimal value. I'm going to move it 1, 2, and that makes it 211% is the rate. In other words, if you left the guitar there with the pawnbroker for a year, it would double the cost of what he lent you. That's why it's difficult to make decisions in finance for the long term rather than need. So next we're going to talk about some savings, and this way we can omit having to depend on pawnbrokers. So we completed section 8.3 on simple interest. Make sure you do the homework. All right. Thank you for listening.